Wait, you're not doing the whole thing though again, are you?
Welcome to the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast, where we discuss Miles Morales, the one and only Spider-Man. I'm Zach, and with me as always is rock god John Bonham Opat. Give us a drum fill.
How's that?
That was great.
Did
That's
that come through?
I hope so. That's how the goat does it. I thought you were just going to like drill with your teeth, but that was good.
I tried my best. I'm always on the edge of my seat just waiting for these intros.
I've never put you on the spot before for a drum fill, so you did good.
How's your... I don't know. Has it been like 2 months since we recorded an episode?
Dude, it's been too damn long since we've talked.
It has been.
What's up with you? I'm sure life has changed in these 2 months or whatever it's been.
It has changed a little bit. I think last time I even had the nerve to fill the listeners in on my dating personal life. I was dating this woman that I'm sure, did I say it will definitely not work?
You did say that a few times.
And because it was so obvious, and it didn't, which is fine because it was obvious. That's only to say that in the year and a half it's been since we talked last, I have been dating a different woman, and it does seem it is working.
I'm glad to hear that, John, and I'm also not surprised. I know you don't think you are, but you're kind of a chick magnet, dude.
Wow.
Over the summer,
an old Peter Parker, you might say.
Yeah. Over the summer, we were at a concert, and he was like, it was like a sitcom level problem. He was like, I've got these 2 girls texting me, man, and I'm like, wow.
It was something that never ever happens. It was truly the definition of the phrase, when it rains, it pours. And trust me, as soon as it stopped raining awfully quickly. So there was about 2 nights. Yeah, that was a very rare occasion, but thank you, Zach.
But at least it was raining in front of your friend.
It was.
Who now thinks you're just a dog. And
it
then
was. I got to go over and talk to some girl while we were at the concert in front of Zach. I was like, let me go say hi to this person.
Had to make an appearance.
Yep.
Yeah. Now all the listeners think you're a dog too. That's just becoming the reality, right? Whether you accept it or not.
There you go. And this woman does know about the Spider-Man podcast, but she's not allowed to listen to it, so it's okay. We can still do it. We can still say whatever we want.
Yeah.
I told her we run a far-right men's rights podcast.
Oh, yeah. Grind set is everything.
Not that far from the truth, if you ask me.
I actually have... This is disappointing. I've been, getting into, obviously, leftist politics, but also, trying to do, self-improvement. Not, crazy stuff, but just, it's good to go on a walk every day. These are good foods for you.
Yeah,
and
clean your room.
It's truly simple stuff like that I need. And it's sad how much of that is owned by the right, to the point where when you find someone who has a channel about self-improvement that's on the left, they have to address the elephant in the room. They're like, now I know we're all a bunch of depressed shits that don't do anything with our lives, but I don't think it needs to be that way. It's that's so sad.
Why does someone saying that have to do with being leftist?
It shouldn't. But think about all of the gym talk people and it's oh yeah, he's a Republican. I don't know. It's just the way it is.
I just look at their big muscles.
Yeah.
Well, that's too bad. Then maybe we'll have to start our
We're the people,
men's rights advocates or something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Which probably isn't too far from the truth if you ask me.
What?
So,
anyways,
I did have one other thing that happened in this last month.
What's that?
Oh, it's sad news, Zach. It's very sad news.
Oh no! Don't tell me it has to do with the groundhogs.
Well, I haven't seen them in a really long time, so and winter is basically here. But whatever, I'm over that. That is sad to me, but they'll come back one day, maybe. No, my girls' 6th grade volleyball team, after an incredible undefeated 7-0 season, lost in the first round of the playoffs.
Their season is only 7 games?
Yeah, regular season 7 games. Yeah.
Gotcha. Jeez, I'm sorry.
It was really disappointing. It was really rough. It's pretty fresh. It was only a couple of nights ago. And it was by far our worst game of the year. And it just is what it is,
Jeez.
I can't go out there and pass the ball for them.
But you know what this is. So you said that's the 7th grade team.
That's the 56B team.
Okay. So is that 5th and 6th?
5th and 6th grade, yeah, sorry.
Okay. So they still have some years at St. Pius. It's not like that team that you said this was it. This was their last chance to play together.
And I had been coaching them for 3 years, yes. Since they were the 6th grade team.
Oh, so then this is good for the girls. It only makes the story better when they win next year.
Well, I have said to a lot of them, it just makes you hungry for next year, huh? And I would be very happy to get to coach them on some team next year. Not all of the girls were 6th grade, some were 5th grade. So it's not the exact same where it'll be the exact same team. But I'm sure some of them will be on a similar team, and yeah, I definitely want to coach them again.
Gotcha.
I've never won the city championship. In all my years of going to St. Pius and coaching at St. Pius, I've never won the city championship, and that might sound surprising, or it might sound not surprising, because it's got to be hard to win a city championship. St. Pius wins so many city championships. It's amazing that I've never done it. There starts to become a common denominator,
Right.
Anyway.
No, it just makes the story better for when you do win.
Yep. Okay. Thanks.
Super Bowl 41 wouldn't have meant anything if Peyton had won every year before that.
I mentioned that to this woman that I've been seeing. Something kind of similar to that is when Peyton Manning retired, or at least he wasn't on the Colts anymore. Did you ever read the blog 18 to 88?
No, but you've told me about it.
Well, anyway, the guy who wrote that blog, he wrote some article, because it is hard to win Super Bowls in the NFL. Haven't we talked about that?
Mm-hmm.
And just because he only won 1 Super Bowl, and there were a lot of seasons where we lost in the playoffs, it doesn't take away from all of the happy Sundays of games, And at the end of the day, during the Peyton Manning years, most Sundays we were walking away happy,
We still have the record for most wins in a decade by a team.
I think so too. But I feel like that could have gotten changed. I feel like that could have gotten beaten, but maybe not. Maybe that's the one that the Colts still do have.
I think they still have that one.
But that's what I was thinking. I'm like, you know what? We still went 7-1. Still a lot more fun than not fun, but it stinks that that's the last one.
Well, and the fact that it's technically postseason, you can still say you had an undefeated season.
I know. I will probably put that on I make a little book for all the kids that at the end of the year, and I try to put a title for the team, some stupid thing. And I've been thinking, do I still want to do something like undefeated regular season or something like that?
Absolutely.
Because is that okay? I'm glad that you say that, because I've been thinking, will that only make them think of the loss instead of the undefeated regular season?
I think they're going to remember the loss either way, but highlighting what was good and what was special and unique about the season will still at least even it out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to. Thanks for the advice, Zach.
You're
But
welcome.
those have been the two biggest things in my life since we last talked. And Illinois needs 2 more wins to cash our season-long bet. Big game this weekend.
How many more weeks are there?
3.
How's their schedule looking?
They are 15.5-point favorites this week. They should be about 10-point favorites next week, and they'll be about 15.5-point favorites in the last week. So it's very manageable, but it does not mean anything, right?
Right.
They dropped this week, and now all of a sudden they have to win the last 2, you know? So this week gives some cushion to my stress level.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, we'll all be rooting with the Illini for you.
Thank you. Feel free to put in alarm bells when you're editing this, or like, you know, something.
Thunderous applause.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what else we got?
What do you have?
So I went to a wedding while we were gone, and it was really cool. I want to give them a shout out. It was 2 women. I want to give the brides a shout out for like the best way I've ever seen a small wedding done, which was like one of the brides had her
2 brides.
Yes,
Zach.
John. I'm sorry if that's a little too progressive for you.
Zach. I thought I misheard at first.
No, sir.
No, just kidding. Okay, go on.
So it was like pretty much all of the guests were part of the entire thing the whole weekend. It's just immediate family and then like best friends. And because you're part of everything, like, oh, Friday night we're making pizzas at home and watching a movie, and then Saturday night we're trick-or-treating with the little nephews and nieces, and
that's really fun. Like everyone as a group,
everyone as a group,
family,
so
and the good friends.
You get to know. It was mostly friends, honestly,
because you said you went to Michigan for this, so
yeah,
you were like staying with them.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is most of us were all staying in the same house too.
Well,
so
that's what when you said the phrase "we're watching movies at home," I was like, everyone at their individual home? Surely not. That means everyone's going to the same home.
Right. I did not phrase that correctly. But yeah, it's like you just hanging out with people the whole time. And it was awesome really because fun. we actually made friends, and I'm like, I kind of wish I had done something more like that for my wedding, because there's like a lot of people that my parents knew that, you know, I held you as a baby and you don't know who this person is.
Sometimes your wedding is more for like your parents and all those people you don't really care about. I feel like I had to invite a lot of people.
That's true.
To my wedding that I didn't really care about coming. If I were to do it again, I would do it more like small and very intimate, and, you know.
I think I would agree. And then, I guess I will mention this. Vice President Dick Cheney died this week.
What?
Did you actually not know that?
Do I have no, dude, I don't have social media and I don't watch the news. This is so fun. I actually get a lot of enjoyment out of not, like, I love being out of the loop.
Have you wondered why the flags are at half-mast?
Didn't
for
notice
days?
That either.
Every time I pass a flagpole, I'm like, why is it at half-mast? What happened?
Charlie Kirk died.
We're over that. This is Dick Cheney, dude.
Oh, man, what happened? I'm sorry that my first response was laughter. That was at my own stupidity, not at that, of course.
No, you're good. I don't know.
Dick Cheney, famously great hunter, passed away. What happened? If you tell me it was a hunting accident, Zach, that's low-hanging fruit. Let me tell you.
I think it was just old age, man. But all this to say, I don't actually have anything to say about Dick Cheney. But
funny name.
It is a funny name. Funny first name. It's half of a funny name. Dick Buttkiss. Now that's a funny name.
Now that's a funny name.
All this to say, I watched that movie that came out a few years ago, Vice.
The one where Christian Bale is like a fat Dick Cheney.
Yeah. Oh, regular Dick
Hilarious.
Cheney.
It's a fat Christian Bale. Sorry.
Yes. Okay. Fat Christian Bale was a regular Dick Cheney.
Yes.
That's it. Good movie. And I mean, Christian Bale's a great actor.
He commits.
He's so good, but it made me really appreciate Adam McKay as a director.
Adam McKay is, gosh, I can picture his name. Is he The Boys? No. What's Adam McKay do?
Anchorman, Talladega Nights.
He's like that comedy guy.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes.
He had a career as like that comedy guy in the 2000s that does everything with Will Ferrell. And he's like hard pivoted now to where he's making movies exclusively like Vice and The Big Short and Don't Look Up. And it's like, this guy got really political. And I actually like it. I think he
I know it. Yeah.
I think of all the like political directors in Hollywood, he's actually smart about it.
Well, I love The Big Short. I mean, I think that's not a political movie. That's just...
I mean, it kind of is. When it ends with, and none of these people were prosecuted.
Telling a true story about the like government being the bad guys or something isn't political, though. It's just like a true story and how everyone's corrupt.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to get at, is like, it's not like he's... Well, I don't think he's gone woke. I don't think he's like telling woke stories. He was just like telling a story about the corruption of like the businesses in America. It's you know.
Listen here, mother. I'm trying to congratulate him for being so woke. I'm trying to applaud this man for being the wokest director. But in like,
I'm saying that I don't think agreeing with reality should be considered woke. It just should be, you know. I want to change the perception that it's leftist to just like know things.
I think we're more in agreement than disagreement here.
I know.
But I'm realizing like this guy has always kind of been the GOAT like that, because you look back at like some of the lines in like Anchorman where they're like, oh, and Brick went on to be a senior advisor to the Bush White House. And then he gets like a little more overt with like the other guys, which I remembered as a comedy. I thought it was one of his like funny movies. And
well,
then
it
you
is
like
so funny.
It is very funny. But then you rewatch it and like all of the stuff, all the like prequel text and narration and like outro text and narration and the stuff when they're rolling the credits, it's all about like white collar crime. And
the other guys? Yeah, I remember that.
Like this guy, all of his movies, it's like he goes in with some kind of like message that he wants to say,
and I'm sure then the Campaign has some politics in it.
Oh, did he direct that one?
Yep. Dude, I'm looking at his like, listen to this run of movies: Anchorman, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, The Other Guys, The Campaign, Anchorman 2, Ant-Man, The Big Short, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Vice, Don't Look Up. The only one that I actually skipped, all of those were in order. All of his movies. The only one I skipped was Get Hard, because I don't know. It's like Will Ferrell, Kevin Hart, and I've never.
I saw it.
Was it good? I've never thought Kevin Hart is that particularly. You know, doesn't do it for me.
It's a Will Ferrell, Kevin Hart movie.
Yeah, you know that's what I figured.
You know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad, right? It was exactly what it was.
It still got Will Ferrell.
Yeah, it was exactly what it was advertised to be.
Should we talk about Spider-Man at some point?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, this week it's the Ultimates.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, same thing. Comics.
Sure. But first, a word from our sponsor, Vice, directed by Adam McKay.
Every business says they're better. But the ones that earn and display the BBB seal back it up. It instantly identifies businesses that are committed to operating with integrity, honoring promises, and telling the truth. Makes you wonder why every business doesn't have it. So look for it, because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
And we're back. We're getting into Ultimate Comics, The Ultimates, issue 11. And
Reed Richards blew up Washington. I remember.
Yep. He sent in death, and he basically nuked the Capitol, and now some energy secretary is the president.
And there's some disagreement, I think, with what happened. And we talked about this in the last episode, where we were like, I can't tell how much has been destroyed. I don't think they know either, because we see buildings standing. And in this week's issues, they say the phrase destroyed Washington a number of times. And Washington did not seem destroyed. Unless they were just talking about that as like destroyed Washington metaphorically by killing all of the like politicians. And I don't know what you'd say, Zach. You'd say bloody good, get rid of them all, but you know, try to stay out of politics here.
Yeah, staying out of politics. I mean, in the second panel of this issue, it shows Washington, and there is like a big crater, but we know that they were in the U.S. Capitol. And in the foreground,
didn't we see the Washington Monument standing in the last week afterwards, like in the background?
I can't remember if we saw it there, but we definitely see it here. So they're like Washington, D.C. has been leveled. And essentially, John, correct me if I'm wrong, because you've been there. It's like one building that got taken out. It was the Capitol, right? It doesn't seem like anything else was really affected.
Yes, and in Washington, D.C., I mean, everything's like nearly walking distance to each other. Like, I would say if you destroyed the Capitol, I mean, if you say you destroyed Washington, then like the Washington Monument shouldn't be standing anymore. That's all of that's pretty close together. You know, all of the highlights in Washington.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
know. I've been wrong before. Maybe not. Maybe the Capitol is like a couple blocks away from it's called the National Mall, the area where all of the things are. I don't think so though, dude. I think you could like walk to it if you had enough time.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So it doesn't seem like this was like a nuke. This was like a bomb.
Yeah.
Anyways, it says we see a woman in bed with a cat curled up, and it says Falls Church, Virginia, 10 miles outside of Washington, D.C. And she's talking about, like, I haven't gotten out of bed in 3 days. People keep calling me. They're either wanting to know if I'm safe or letting me know that a coworker wasn't. And this is where we see the crater that is, like, basically is what it's informing us that it was just the Capitol that blew up.
It does look like, looking at this cover, the Washington Monument just barely made it out. So that seems like that could be an appropriate distance away. I'm looking at that picture now on the first page.
But it's not like a nuke took out the whole city.
No, definitely not. It's like a crater. It's not, but it's not a nuke. Yeah. I don't know what I'm so upset about.
So this blonde woman who lives in or around Virginia, we can kind of guess who it is. She looks at her phone and it says, Tony Stark, 12 missed calls. Tony Stark, 9 voicemails. And he says, Carol, hi, it's me again, Tony. So this is Carol Danvers. And did you remember they were dating?
When he started talking about stuff like that, I had the faintest memories that maybe they had commented on it before.
Yeah, it was
it didn't really surprise me, but I don't know. I didn't remember the storyline.
Yeah, we didn't get told that they were broken up or anything, but here it's implied that they had broken up and he's calling her. And he's like, hey, I know we haven't talked in a while, but I need something. I need a favor. We want to talk to the new president. Can you do that for us? By the way, we're being hunted by the government. Thanks. Bye. And we cut to Thor and Tony, who, remember, are on the run. And they're just a little ways down the road from her in Arlington, Virginia. And they're fighting back against like SHIELD agents that are trying to apprehend them.
Is Arlington, Virginia, where Arlington National like cemetery is?
I think so, yeah.
Wow, more history. But we've already talked about that. Everyone who listens to this podcast should know about Arlington and the fun fact about Robert E. Lee's house by now.
Yep, it's his backyard.
And now they know about it again.
And then we're remembering, okay, the Ultimates are on the run from the government. They're kind of splintered. Thor and Tony are doing this, and apparently they're trying to get in contact with Carol Danvers so they can meet the president. What's the other team doing? And we go to Bakersfield, California, where there's a closed down mall. And we've got Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Falcon. And they're like, what are we doing here? And Black Widow's like, oh, it's a secret SHIELD facility that only 6 people know about. They're thinking about doing a West Coast Avengers.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I happened to be reading this with you again, because I would have forgotten to bring this up. Okay, obviously, like 6'7" is the biggest thing in the world right now, and everybody says it. And finally, it's starting to like go away with the kids because it's now like become the biggest thing. So I don't know, now like the adults will catch it faster than the kids will even catch it at this point, because we've all heard it so much. So anyway, whatever. But she says, it's a top secret development program, a satellite facility. You are the 6th and 7th SHIELD operatives to know of its existence, and 6th and 7th are the only bold words in the sentence. And I was like, holy shit, dude, are you serious? I cannot escape this.
I still don't understand 6'7", dude.
It's nothing. It's just a thing. It's from a rap song about a basketball player. And anytime there's a 6'7", which teaching math actually comes up relatively often, 0.67 or 6/7, that kid goes 6'7".
The future of America.
Yep.
So when I read it, I had to stop and I was counting on my fingers. She says you're the 6th and 7th people to know of its existence. And I'm like, okay, clearly she knows. Obviously Nick Fury knows.
That's 4. The 3 that we're with plus Nick Fury.
Well, we're counting 7. 5. We're seeing who the original people were that knew. That are in the know in SHIELD. Who are the top 5 people in SHIELD, basically. So we've got her, this Black Widow, Nick Fury, I'm guessing Captain America, and Iron Man.
I don't know if Captain America would know about it.
Would Carol Danvers know about it?
I was thinking Carol Danvers would be 3.
Mm-hmm.
Does Nick Fury have like a guy like in the movies he has Robert Redford?
Oh.
He's like an old SHIELD, the guy who like runs SHIELD. Is there a guy like that in the comics that we met? Because he would be a...
No, I think he just reports to the president.
Tony is probably one. Tony seems more like
in the day-to-day
SHIELD heavy in the comics than he is in like the movie. So he probably is. So that's 4. I don't know. Maybe it's Captain America, but it doesn't feel like he would be number 5.
I was thinking between Cap, Tony, and Thor, one person has to be the odd man out. Feels like
Thor wouldn't either. I think we're missing somebody.
Well, the comic says we are. I thought this was like a we gotcha.
Is Hank Pym still alive?
No.
Okay. Good riddance.
Fuck that guy. Anyways, she punches a number into an ATM on the side of the building, and they walk in, and someone says, "Stop right there." And he's kind of shrouded in darkness. It's like, oh, cool. Is this going to be a big reveal? Is this Captain America? No, it's some science dork. she's like, oh, it's
Okay,
Dr.
so we just found out number 5.
Yeah, it's this random guy we've never met before. I was so disappointed. I was hoping it was maybe this is where Nick Fury's been hiding the whole time. We haven't seen him in a while. Nope, it's some random.
There were 5
doctor.
people that knew about it, and one of them was this science dork.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that makes sense.
Dr. Hugo Lopez.
What a random name, also.
Yeah, so he meets the team and they shake hands because Monica knows him somehow.
Well, he must be a big deal. He's one of the 5 SHIELD operatives that know of this place.
Right. Oh, and this is fun. She says, they're like, where'd you find this guy? And she's like, Nick and I helped him out of a sticky bioethics investigation back in the day. We recognized his innate genius and gave him his own lab. America, the meritocracy.
That sounds like when they took the Nazis over to help him out.
They Operation Paperclipped this guy.
Yeah. Oh, I missed that.
Yeah. I thought that was such a funny, and that's like such a purposeful line. Like they had to remind us, hey guys, we're the bad guys. Remember, the U.S. military does this.
Yeah, like that line is like thrown out of nowhere at all. It was not needed. I wonder why they named him Hugo Lopez. You know?
I don't know. He's also kind of got that like Mortimer Adams like mustache going on.
Huh.
Anyways, so they're calling their West Coast Avengers, but here it's West Coast Ultimates. They're calling them wackos. They're like, we need our wackos.
WCOS, West Coast. What do you think?
Operational Security.
Oh, is that what it says? Okay.
Yeah. And we walk into this guy's lab, and of course, it's like an evil supervillain gestating chamber. Right, he's got like human body husks in floating tubes. He's like, yes, come in, see my experiments.
Yeah, this doesn't look like a good guy's place.
I don't think it is. She's like, how long are they until they're ready? And he's like, give it or take 90 minutes. So they're about to get an army of super people that this guy's been cooking up in the basement of a mall. And all of a sudden something happens and they're like, was that an earthquake? And of course it's not. Of course someone's found them. And we cut to the Oval Office, which is not really in the White House. It says an undisclosed location on the East Coast, condition black. And we get the sense it's like an underground bunker. And what's that one guy's name?
Flum.
That is it. Director Flum of S.H.I.E.L.D., the bad guy that took over Nick Fury's job.
You know who he looks like standing against the wall? Try to just like look at him and first reaction, who's he look like in that picture against the wall?
Scar from The Lion King.
Oh, Bill Belichick.
I can see that too. Yeah, I can kind of see that. So Flum is briefing the president, and he's just going on and on about like, we're really trying to close in on Nick Fury and the Ultimates. We're gonna get these guys. Don't you worry. We're gonna collect them. And the president's like, dude, Washington D.C. just blew up. What do you have for me? Like,
why is he doing this? Yeah,
we have bigger fish to fry.
There's like 4 world events right now. I don't understand why this guy's even being humored with his like, we should be hunting down the superheroes of the world.
Yeah.
Especially because he looks so stupid in his black outfit standing against the wall.
He's really...
He's trying to like feel like he's like in control of the situation and like it's what he says goes. And I just don't understand why he's even being listened to at all. Why is he even in the room, Zach?
He's aura farming like he thinks he's Nick Fury. And he doesn't have that Nick Fury presence.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
And then, like John said, there's like 4 world events going on at the time that they're like trying to juggle. And funny enough, like someone walks in and is like, "Sir, we have someone on the line that says they represent the new Republic of Texas." So it's like Texas just seceded in that moment.
Well, I think something happened out west in that area. Did something happen? I don't know. I like can't even remember all the things. I remember the stuff with the Maker and the stuff with Tian, but then there's something going on in Asia that I don't know about, and then I think there's something going on now in the Texas area that there was a big attack or something, and I don't really remember that either.
We will get to that in this series, but yeah, that's essentially Texas just seceded from the Union. And
that'll probably go well for him.
We're about to see how that happened. So we go to Dallas, and it says the first Congress of the new Republic of Texas 3 days ago. And it's a bunch of rich assholes, businessmen, sitting around a big boardroom table. And they're like, hey, you know, there's a vacuum of leadership. Who knows what if the guy that's president now is even like valid, like who's to say this, this is still the United States. They killed everyone. Texas has got to defend itself. We can't let anyone else, take over us. And he says we've got more shield facilities per square mile than any other state. And that made me think, with how big Texas is, surely that also just means they have the most shield facilities, period, right?
Definitely. I would say it's even surprising that they'd have the most per square miles. It would be more likely that they would just have the most.
Right.
Because there's probably a lot of open ground in Texas also.
Yeah,
but
apparently
maybe they just pump out shield facilities in the desert.
Shield facilities are like BP gas stations to them.
Yeah.
And so they're like, we, essentially, if we just control our own shield facilities, we can be a nation that can govern
so what are they
itself
going to
and
just
protect
like
itself.
hold them? They're going to John Brown the shield facilities, just try to take them over. I mean, just start a revolution.
That's what they're talking about. And some red-haired twerp walks in, and he's like, "If I may," and they're like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And he opens a briefcase full of gold bars, and he's like, "I'd like to offer you a solution." And then we cut back to Arlington, Virginia, and Tony is
a big. I don't understand economics because I think it's stupid that what would those bars do to help the world, right? They don't have any value.
Well, gold bars intrinsically would have more value than like American paper money at a time when America's entire government just got killed. Right? Theoretically, you could go to another country and you could exchange gold bars for their currency.
I just don't understand why. What is it? Just because gold is shiny? So it's valuable?
Yeah, it's because people tens of thousands of years ago decided it's valuable.
Isn't that so dumb?
It is dumb, but it's less dumb than a paper note that's not.
I don't know if it is. That's not backed by anything. That's okay. I started saying my sentence before, so because it's of course easier to trade in money than it would be if we all had 10 gold bars.
Yeah.
I'm
not saying we should be on the gold standard because gold is great. I'm saying we should be on the gold standard because we need to be backed by something. It could just as easily be the silver standard or, whatever we decided was like a physical
Why
commodity.
do we need to be backed by something?
I mean,
deciding how
I don't know, man. I'm not an economist. Economist.
I just I don't get it. So somewhere in Fort McHenry or something, there's a bunch of silver in a fort doing nothing, just sitting there. if magically it disappeared, nothing would change in the world, right? If nobody, it'd be like Schrodinger's silver stash. If nobody walked into the room, then nothing would happen because that doesn't do anything, you know?
Yeah. I get what you're saying. So that's like, where does the value of money itself come from? What I'm worried about is like, where is my money? And so what scares me is like, if I give, let's say, $10,000 to a bank, and you give $10,000 to the same bank, and someone else gives $10,000 to the same bank, and they all say, you know, you have $10,000 in here. If you look in the bank's account, it might be the exact same $10,000 split 10 ways. Like, that is a house of cards that's going to crumble.
Yes.
And yet it's illegal to call for a bank run, which I am not doing on this podcast.
But theoretically, I mean, the bank should have all that money if they're not scamming, right?
Exactly.
I mean, if they're being a bank, they have all the money. If they're being a Ponzi scheme, then they don't.
But that's how all the banks operate. Is they're like promising money that they don't have. They're hoping that
it's up to $100,000, right? That's what FDIC is up to at one time, or maybe just in total. I
think that's what the consumers are insured for. But
yeah,
what happens when a bank actually fails and you have all those consumers who are coming for their $100,000?
Well, the government has to bail them out.
Right, but
shouldn't now? Wow, now I'm thinking.
But does the government have that money on hand?
To bail them out, right? Because they can't let all the people just. I mean, here's what should happen, right?
But Congress would have to approve new money for that, right? It's not like Congress has a fund of, let's say, $1 trillion where they're ready to bail out every American.
Well, money is fake, so they could.
But we just proved that it's fake with this exercise. That's what we've been doing.
I think money is fake.
Dude, it seems like it might be fake. Or at least it's real to them, but it's like fake to us, right? When I put my money in a bank, because of all of this,
I would say it's realer to us than it is to them. Like, because they can always just make more. They might not be happy about it, but they always will. But like, you and I can't make more money.
Well, think about this. Like, I put my money into the bank, which I have just, I think, laid out the argument for. It's now evaporated, right? My $10,000 just became like a shared penny collectively in terms of what the bank actually has on hand. But a rich person doesn't put his...
Wow, you just like actually did like scare me. You just scared me mentally. Like, boy, what if something does happen? What if something happens to Chase Bank? And now all of my money is just gone. Dude, I mean, what would I do? I wouldn't be able to do anything. I wouldn't have any of all of my money, you know?
If that happened to you...
I'm getting stressed out.
Well, at least you're on Chase Bank. I know they have money. I'm on some like new bank, like a digital bank that a husband and a wife started that is supposed to help you budget your money. And it's like, I know they don't have anything. Like, if Chase goes under, my bank is going under, just in terms of like the ripple effect of people no longer trusting banks. And all of this is to say,
wow,
so
you're right. I mean, this will probably happen one day.
We are at risk.
It just will. Yeah.
But the bank owner, the fucking CEO of Chase Bank, all his money is in stocks or assets, right? He doesn't have his money in a bank. Maybe some of it. But he's got his money out there doing passive income.
When I was even saying that, I do all of my stocks through Chase also. If one day I was just unable to like log into my Chase account or go to Chase, I would have nothing at all. So That's kind of what I was talking about, but maybe that's better for me. Now you've stressed me out less by saying, okay, it's just as long as I have stocks, as long as I have Neo, I should be good to go.
Yeah, that's the other thing about me is, so I'm in a sketchy ass bank, and I have like $8,000 of
EV
stocks on Cash App. Dude,
okay.
Everything, like, Warren Buffett would weep for me. He's like, this guy is doing the dumbest things in the dumbest ways.
Wow. Okay, sorry I got us so off track. Talk about the Weasley redhead guy brought in a bunch of gold bars and they're gonna help Texas secede.
Yep. Not succeed, but secede.
I thought that's what I said.
I was just joking, dude.
Okay.
Okay, so we go back to Arlington, Virginia, and Tony is talking to not his son, but his, like, hallucination son. We remember him, right?
Yes, I do remember him.
So he's sitting in a bar counter and he's just having a conversation with himself. And then Carol Danvers walks in and she's like, can you really get the guy who did this to DC? And he goes, yeah, I think we can. And she's like, then you're going to like half of what I have to say. The good half is the president agreed to meet with you. The bad half. And then Thor runs in and he's like, Tony, outside, there's... And she's like, yeah, that's the bad half. And we see it's like they've got a whole battalion of S.H.I.E.L.D. people out there ready to arrest them. And she's like, they're not just going to let you stroll up to the new president. They want to arrest you and bring you to him.
Craziness to be treating our heroes like this at a time like this. It must be because the enemy is so great. They just want to, like, accomplish something to show the people that they've got it under control. You know?
Yeah.
We'll just do something.
Well, I think we'll see appeasement of the Maker is a very serious political strategy that they're considering at this point. Because they're like, what other options do we have?
But this isn't even appeasing the Maker, is it? They're just doing this for the S.H.I.E.L.D. director, it seems.
Well, I mean, if they don't have... Every second that they're chasing down the Ultimates are not pursuing the Maker. And if they capture the Ultimates, then that can appease the Maker.
Well, geez, maybe that is the route. I don't know. If I was like the 345th guy in line to be president and everyone in front of me died one day, I probably wouldn't be thinking very clearly.
Especially with your advisor being like a Weasley.
He's like this. Yes, he's like Dick Cheney with a scar. Rest in peace.
Yeah, you know he's a bad guy because he's got a scar over his face.
Attack the heroes. Yes.
He's Grima Wormtongue.
Yeah.
Okay, so we cut back to Bakersfield, and this is funny. We go from one set of Ultimates that are getting peacefully arrested by S.H.I.E.L.D. to another set that are taking down dozens of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents lethally so that they don't get arrested.
Well, these guys don't know that's part of the plan.
I know.
They don't know that they were sold in by Tony.
Hawkeye is shooting 3 arrows at once. There's corpses and blood everywhere with arrows sticking out of them. And I'm just thinking, like, man, dude, that's Jerome from the Bronx. That's Matt from Wyoming. You know, these are your countrymen.
The S.H.I.E.L.D. agents?
Yes.
They're trying to get the heroes.
I know they are, but the heroes don't have to be so mean to kill them.
That's true. That's true. The heroes should also recognize that there's a bigger fight going on than killing S.H.I.E.L.D. agents.
These are our class allies.
One of these guys up against the wall in the back when he says, "You hit him enough, Monica." There's so much blood spilling from his head.
It's pretty gross. Can you hear my damn cat playing with that bag?
No.
Okay, good.
And I'm having too much fun to care.
Okay, so they're killing the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. They're eating the cat's They're eating the dogs. And all of a sudden, there's like a giant man squad. Remember, they don't need just one giant man. You know, they can have a squad of them now.
Dude,
Sean.
it is pretty intimidating to have like a bunch of huge people like that walking around. I mean, that's not that different from like an alien invasion. They could just like get 6 people like that and destroy stuff very easily. I mean, one person could take a step and could kill all the people in the Capitol, you know?
Yeah.
What is a bomb really when you have a team of giant people?
Here's something to consider though. But if all of the shield agents are giant mans, then all of the ultimates are Ant-Mans, right?
Yeah.
So in a way, you maybe just gave them the power of being Ant-Man. Because you've just changed the perspective of everything.
No, because part of the power of Ant-Man is that they have like the like strength of the normal person in the area, so it feels like a bullet. But this would just be a normal person's strength punching a ginormous guy. I don't think it would do very much.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, I don't think, right? But like when Ant-Man goes really big, it's not like people punching him in the shin would hurt him, is it?
No, I think he gets to still be the tough guy when he gets big, which seems counterintuitive.
Okay, that seems very intuitive to me.
I feel like it should be his mass expands and he's like a balloon and you kick him and he just floats off into space.
Well, so all of his stuff has now been spread out over the situation. I mean, that would be more fair. That would be a more fair like weakness to his power.
That's what I think. It should be Ant-Man and Balloon Man, really.
Yeah. Yep.
Giblet, you're fucking killing me. Now she was doing her scratching post.
Do you call Jubilee Giblet?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Okay, so one of them like reaches down and one of the giant women reaches down and just smashes Monica with her hand and she's like, "Hey, get off me." And she takes her automatic gun and just shoots the lady in the face a bunch. And we cut back to the president and he's like talking to Tony and Thor and he's like, "Let me get this straight. You want me to let you go after the man who leveled DC?" And they're like, "We're not asking for your permission. We're asking for your help. There's a difference."
I like that.
And they
don't care what the government has to say.
Right. But it'd be helpful if they weren't chasing them the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
And he points to a little toy on the desk and he's like, "And this is the plan." And Tony looks over and his holographic imaginary son is over there giving him the double thumbs up. And he's like, "It'll be bigger, Mr. President. Use your imagination. If we appeal to his ego, we can't lose. Trust us." And the president goes, "Trust you. You're only here because Carol and I were college roommates." Did that seem weird to you too?
No. Why?
This guy who seems
college roommates.
much older than any of them was Carol Danvers' college roommate. And also, what? Does that mean they were dating?
I don't think that he seems older.
I just assume the president is usually an old guy.
Well, this guy was like a random congressman, right?
I guess that's true.
It's weirder not that men and women can't be roommates, but that's the weirder part, right? That
yeah.
You know, why wouldn't they just write "we're friends in college"?
I feel like
why would they write their
easier.
college roommates?
And they were roommates.
Yeah, if I were Tony, and Tony used to date her. We're lucky Tony didn't get off track. He's like,
Tony could have been
what like, now? What? I thought you guys were just friends in college.
Mr. President,
roommates?
I think that's something you and I have had in common then. he's like, I've got a man in charge of global security who would tell me to lock both of you up right now. And Tony goes, oh, that's one other thing. We deliver America's #1 enemy and carve your presidency into stone. You called S.H.I.E.L.D. off our backs and free our friends.
That's true. All these people care about is their place in history. And if you were the president that got rid of, the maker after all this, you definitely get a monument. Especially because DC was destroyed.
Right.
Oh,
you'd be the one that got the revenge.
Yeah.
And the president's
monuments would be going up.
A lot of new ones. Yeah, they've got the real estate for it.
Yeah.
The president says, I think a weaponized drinking problem and a long-haired god complex just tried to bully me into antagonizing America's biggest threat. I think you two are very dangerous.
I think if he thinks he's getting bullied, then he's a little twerp. Because there was no bullying going on. It was like the exact opposite of bullying. They let themselves get arrested to ask for help.
Not to keep beating up on Dick Cheney, but I feel like this is very funny as an inverse of what happened after 9/11. America gets attacked. Oh no, don't hurt us. We're going to be pacifists about this. Dude, if Washington D.C. blew up, every red-blooded American would be listening to country music and enlisting in the army.
That's true. The
we
public would
be
definitely be wanting revenge. They would not be happy about going after Iron Man at a time like this.
We're a very revenge-happy country, right? We're going to be let's bomb the hell out of the maker.
Yeah, that's because we're the fucking good guys. Zach, we don't like bullies, okay?
That's right. Don't care how weird
I don't
their
care
head
where
is.
they're from. Yeah, what'd you say?
I don't care how weird their head is.
Yeah.
We cut back to Bakersfield, and Falcon is straining, trying to hold Hawkeye by his ankle and fly them away from the giant men. And he's just shooting these guys with arrows, and he's like, this ain't gonna hurt him, this ain't gonna kill him, but it'll hurt like hell. And it's funny seeing them with the little tiny arrows in their head.
They have a tiny arrow in their head, and then the expression, they're like, ah, darn it.
And then someone...
It's like when a bug hits you in the face as you're walking.
Yeah.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Someone aims a neuromodulation cannon at them, which, I don't have to explain. We all know what that is. It fires
gives them
circles.
A migraine.
It fires circles, and it gives them a migraine.
Yep.
And so they fall to the ground. Oh no, Storm is terrorizing Jubilee now. But I kind of don't want to intervene because Jubilee's playing with her loudest toy, and she might run away.
They're fine. The cats fight. Mine are always fighting. Okay, I kind of can't decide how I feel about when Black Widow introduces the people to the Dr. Dork. She's like, this is Sam Wilson, call sign Falcon, and this is whatever the other guy's name is, call sign Hawkeye. And now these guys, when they're capturing him, they're like, we've got to get call sign Falcon. And then they say, call signs Hawkeye and Falcon contained. And I just don't know. I mean, I get what they're doing. Well, they don't, it's dorky to use their superhero names, right? So they're trying to be realistic, this is their military name. But how many times would you say call sign? Just say Hawkeye and Falcon, or say Wilson and Barton. I remembered his name. Maybe they're just trying to be a little too real world and gritty or something.
I think that's it.
I liked it the first time, and then I saw it too many times.
Right. No, I'm with you on that. I agree. And then, oddly enough, they say requesting status on the Widow.
I just saw that.
On the Black
status
Widow.
on Black Widow. They don't say call sign Black Widow.
Right. Now you stopped.
Yeah.
And holy shit, dude, she killed a bunch of the giant men and women.
She's a beast.
She impaled one of them on like an iron bar right through the heart, and another one is over here heaving up blood.
Nothing speaks more to the incompetence of Hawkeye that he was just like firing Nerf gun arrows into them. And on the next panel, Black Widow's standing on the corpses of 6 giant men.
I didn't think about that, but that is a bad look for Hawkeye. And they're like, you're authorized to deploy electro-radiation field, friendly fire permitted. And so it shocks everybody and knocks her out. And then we cut back to the city, and the Maker is lounging villainously. And he's giving a good villain monologue. He says, "Please know this of me. I never expected to be understood. But after accomplishing thousands of years of evolution in a handful of heartbeats, I expected respect. Looks like all I needed to do was level Washington, D.C. And again, as we've pointed out, he just blew up the Capitol."
Bitch. Didn't even destroy all of Washington, D.C. Dude, the Washington Monument is still standing. He seems like he's got a bunch of good lounging around monologues. I bet every day his musings are just captivating.
Yeah. I bet he practices the most intimidating ways to sit in a love seat.
Yeah.
And he's like, I had to claw my way up from the cosmic backwaters to do it, from the negative zone where your ultimates abandoned me to die. I've never forgotten their betrayal. Simple-minded, yet betrayal. Now I've made them obsolete. The world shall abandon them. Do you think he thinks he's the hero of his story? Has
Definitely,
he just forgotten
100%.
Because he didn't talk like this when he was a hero.
No, but he does have a point. Because, I mean, didn't he kind of get a bad rap? Like, what was he doing in the negatives? Oh, yeah. No, he, like, sent a bunch of, like, he, like, killed a bunch of people. That's why they found him in the negative zone.
That's right. He was the Unabomber in this world. He was fucking snail mailing Greg Gilroy the Terribles to people.
Well, yeah, that's right. No, on second thought, you don't have to give it to the Maker.
But we see who he's talking to. He's like, however, I am surprised to find you so willing to break faith with such a valuable asset, Mr. President. And we see he's on a Zoom call with the president. He's like, he's too dangerous. He's too unpredictable. He wants to attack you. The United States cannot win this war. Also, he's too ambitious, if you understand my meaning.
What's his meaning? I think he's jealous about Carol Danvers.
I thought it's like, I'm a vulnerable president. I don't let him around.
That's what it means. That's
like
why
Tony Stark could primary me and completely self-fund it.
If Tony Stark ran for president, he would win very easily.
He's a rich guy, yeah. And so he's like, basically the president is giving him Tony Stark. And he says a token of peace between the United States and the city.
But is this part of the plan?
Well, we'll have to see.
It's one of those situations where it's like, we never really heard the plan. This could go either way. You know, I could very easily also see that, like, this is the plan to get Tony inside, right?
Yes. I'll just say that's what's happening.
Well, we don't know that yet, because the last time we saw the president, he was also like, I'm scared of you, you boozed up God or whatever, you know, yes. I should have you arrested. So, yes, my first instinct was this is probably just the plan, because I've read stories before and I know how this type of thing works, but it could go either way, you know?
Yeah.
And especially 20 years ago, it could go either way. However long ago this was written.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit, this is like a 15-year-old comic, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is so weird for me to think. Um,
Passage of time, man. It's nuts.
It's relentless. So we go to the Baltic Sea, and a military helicopter has Tony Stark with his hands behind his back, tied behind his back, and a bag over his head, and they kick him out into the sea. And before he can hit the water, the people of the city catch him and return him to the Maker.
That would be so scary. I mean, I know Tony's not scared because it's part of the plan, but I think it would be so scary to have like a bag over your head and to be kidnapped. I mean, I just, you would never know what's coming the next second.
Especially if you can tell you're on a helicopter and they open the door.
Yeah, and he's in his underwear also. So there's a level of degradingness to it as well that I don't really appreciate.
Right. John, in the movie Vice, starring Christian Bale, we call that enhanced interrogation methods.
Well, I was wondering if maybe there was a political statement in the way he's like dressed with this bag on his head, because I feel like this looks very much like how the U.S. government would have treated terrorists back in the day, or people, just Middle Eastern people.
Indeed.
I don't know. What do you think it is? Or am I just looking into that because we've been kind of talking about that type of stuff today?
No, I think it's not lost on Jonathan Hickman in 2010 or 2011 that the United States government likes to kidnap people, take their clothes off, put a bag over their head.
Okay. Well, a fitting issue for for our testament to Dick Cheney then.
Pour one out for the homie.
Yep. Dude, I'm gonna get like fired. You're not supposed to say stuff like that on podcasts anymore. I was like, not because we would have any opinions on Charlie Kirk at all, but people got fired for like not that strong of views on things.
Why? What happened to him? Did I miss something? Anyways, what'd you think of this one?
Oh, was that the end?
That was the end.
Oh, well then he meets the Maker. And
yeah.
And did you say that?
I said they brought him.
And he's in his boxers. And that's kind of messed up as Reed Richards, because he probably asked for that. Right. He was probably like put a bag over his head, take his pants off, and we're gonna catch him in a bubble and then bring him to me.
Not for a second.
Boy, they couldn't have let him keep his pants on.
Not for a second did I think that was Reed Richards' request. I think that's just how the U.S. government hands
that was just
people
their
over.
First instinct when they kidnapped somebody. Even in a trick that they couldn't go against their better judgment.
What if Tony took his own pants off?
Maybe he did. He just walked in his underwear and he was like, okay, I'm ready, guys.
Well, it was a really long flight, and there was an open bar, and he just got a little too crazy, and, you get hot sometimes.
I could kind of see him still being the life of the party on that chopper until it was time to get thrown out of it. He was probably drinking vodkas and being like, oh, come on, guys, this might be the last time I'm drinking, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, I 100% think that he was chumming it up with, like, even when he was getting arrested earlier in the issue, we need a scene of Tony in an armored van with like a bunch of people with guns on him. And just be like, so who's your favorite actress?
Yeah, I dated her. Yeah. I pretty good stuff. What are we rating this out of?
6, 7. Is this a 6 or is this a 7, John?
This is going to be a 6 out of 7. This would be a 6-7.
Okay. I'll give it the 7.
You'll give it the 7. Well, I mean, I was very good.
Yeah.
So that's our rating. It's either a 6 or a 7. Then I guess I would give it a 7.
All right, there we go.
It was fun.
Yeah, I also I think this was a 7 issue. The giant men, it really does look terrifying when they first show up, and then it's funny when they have the arrows sticking in their heads, and then it is impressive when Monica Chang just fucking like killed 10 of them off screen.
I kind of forgot that wasn't just like Black Widow.
The
That's
bad
fine.
one
That's
that killed
fine.
Hawkeye's
Yeah.
family.
I don't remember enough about the history of this. Did she kill Hawkeye's family?
She did, but we didn't read it because that series sucked.
Here we go. This is issue 12. This is the finale to our little run here, isn't it?
For Hickman. Yeah. Because
This was a 12-part series, though.
No, it continues after this. Hickman's just off the book.
Okay. And it's written by Sam Humphries with Jonathan Hickman. The art is by Luke Ross and Ron Garney and Butch Geis and Matt Milla. And the letters are VC's Clayton Cowles. The cover artist is Kari Andrews. Okay, I think that's all of them. So, Tony is being tortured by the Maker. He's in the dome. And he's being cheeky. Just like we knew he would be.
He's like in that position where like Wolverine is like crucified to an X.
Yes.
But and there's all these arms gonna like stick him with something. Or...
Donnie Mitchell drops another pass. As I'm looking over, I need to turn this game off, but we just started. As I'm looking over, the pass is hitting him in the hands, bouncing onto the ground.
That's live. That just happened again.
That just happened on third down, and they just punted the ball.
Dude, there's got to be like something in his head because
it would have been a tough catch. It was like a diving back shoulder going to the ground, but the ball hit him square in the hands. I mean, it's a catch from an NFL receiver.
But the crazy thing is, at Texas and Alabama, he was catching those.
Yeah. I know. How different would his now he's in his head, now he's nervous about everything. Same thing happened to my volleyball girls, right? They miss a pass, now they're nervous for the next one. It's the human condition. You gotta shake it off. Be a goldfish.
I like that.
That's from Ted Lasso. I tell my kids, you make a play, make up for it. Get the next one.
Right.
You
gotta
know?
build their confidence back up.
Well, and that's what I tell myself if I miss a pass in volleyball. I'm like, I want them to serve the next one to me because I want to get this pass. You know?
Right. You gotta break the curse.
Exactly.
Okay.
Tony.
He's got the cheekiest smile.
Yes, he does. And he says, "You won't even let me keep my smartphone. I'm expecting a text from an enchanting Ukrainian geneticist." We knew he'd be saying that, right? That's it. You were saying he's like, "Who's your favorite actress?" Oh yeah.
But he's talking to a science dork, so he's like, "Hey, there's a science lady that's gonna text me."
He says she's got a mind for hybrid DNA and an eye for taking pictures in a mirror. I'll tell you what, Zach, I'm getting a crush on this Ukrainian geneticist.
Are you? Because she kind of sounds like Dr. Mengele. What is hybrid DNA?
I was more concerned about the taking pictures in the mirror aspect. So is Tony, I'm guessing. So the computer says, or one of the children of tomorrow says, 4,500 something scans of the subject complete maker, 0 threats detected, 17 anomalies detected, including, and the maker cuts him off and says, "Very interesting, Stark. You've got quite the growth on your brain. We could be twins." And he pulls down his helmet, and it's just so disgusting, dude. You got to keep that covered up. Have some shame. His head is grotesque. This is truly body horror here.
I think the most upsetting part of it is it looks like he's about to have a full lush head of brown hair, and then you like get past the first, I don't know.
That is a very upsetting part. It would
3
probably
inches
be
of
less
depth.
upsetting if he was just bald.
And it's not even that it's bald. It's like his skin texture changes to that of a potato.
Yes, and the most upsetting part for me is that it has a purplish bruised color to it, and I just hate it.
Yeah.
But the stuff you covered, I also hated, and you articulated very well.
Also, his eyes are creepy, and he's just like, he just looks unsettling. Kudos to the artist for making him look so upsetting. I'm gonna have
nightmares. He's got him. He's got him. Yeah. So Reed says, curing cancer was one of the first things we did, Stark. It took us only seconds in your world. Like, that's how, if the time was compared. Too bad you and the other Ultimates tried to kill me, otherwise we could have healed you. And Tony says, no thanks, Richards. I've grown quite accustomed to my tumor. His name is Anthony. We're best buddies now. Oh, now I get it. That's his tumor.
Yes. The tumor is manifesting as like the child he's seeing.
We kind of knew that, and Tony knows that too.
Yep.
You know, it's cute that Tony is like and stupid, but he's like, if you took my tumor out, then I wouldn't have my what's the word? Like, when you hit my hallucination anymore.
Yeah, he wants to keep the tumor for he likes the kid.
Yeah, he likes exactly. He likes having someone to talk to. And the Maker is like, you know, I had to blow up DC after you know, you threw your entire nuclear army at my dome. And he says, what do we think about the lies, Banner? And Bruce Banner jumps on screen and he screams in Tony's face and says, Hulk smash America, Hulk smash the Ultimates. And it's the first time Tony actually does look a little scared. He wasn't quite expecting that, I don't think.
Well, and he's getting Hulk spit all over his face.
Yeah, that's true. That wouldn't be very pleasant either. And the Maker does calm down, you know, the Hulk. He says, that'll do for now, Banner. See how he wilts under the slightest bit of pressure? I thought the same thing, Maker, when I read that. I was like, oh, Tony's facade dropped awfully quickly when the Hulk screamed in his face.
Huh, 2 for flinching.
Yeah. And the Maker says, is it any wonder the new president turned him over so willingly? And Tony smirks again and says, maybe he wanted you to see what an actual genius looked like. Oh, it's got to get him. And Reed yells at him. He says, you've marginalized and upstaged me for the last time. I've been waiting for this moment. And when you condescend to me, and he pulls out a big needle and stabs Tony and injects him with something and says, it ruins it. The time has come for you to make your final contribution to science. We'll be dissecting and analyzing you, Stark, piece by piece, so the children can learn what an actual genius looks like from the inside. That's pretty good. He threw his words right back in his face. I always respect a good a throwing of words back in your face. I respect it when the kids do it to me sometimes too. I'm like, oh, how dare you use my words against me?
I did say that, didn't I?
Yeah. So we're back in the center of the city, the dome, with the computer. And Anthony, the little hallucination kid, is there too. And he says, hi, what's your name? And the city says, I have multiple designations. I do not understand. I cannot identify you using any method of detection. Conclusion, you are not present. And Anthony says, I'm here just like you're here. I'm alive but trapped just like you. Do you want to be friends? And the computer looks at him and says, unclear. I have not had a friend. And Anthony says, friends help each other. I can help you, but I need your help first. Let's play a game. Oh, okay. Now we understand Tony's plan. But I still don't know how he's doing it.
Right. Like, the kid is real now?
Well, I figured What I'm assuming as of now is... Okay, I figured it did have something to do with the tumor because he's like, no, don't remove my tumor. So what I actually figured was he's hiding like a little thing inside of one of his anomalies that were detected. So like inside the tumor, there's something that is then, it's like an AI thing that's projecting. Because it would be pretty stupid if Tony's actual tumor came to life. Right?
That would be stupid. Let's see if it happens.
Okay. I hope not. I never even expected that for a second because that's pretty stupid. And okay, so we cut back to the Maker and Tony. And the Maker says, "Don't be hard on yourself, Tony. This moment was inevitable. As the hushed death of the Neanderthal, the cold hands of evolution squeezing its throat." I told you, he's got some good musings. He definitely practices these. I think he's probably invented a writer, now that I think of it. There's probably like a writer 1, a writer
First writer.
2. Yep.
Yeah, and they've had 10,000 years to craft the perfect message.
Yeah. And he says, "Any words for this historic moment?" And Tony says, "Yes, Reed Richards, you are under arrest for the annihilation of Washington, D.C., the massacre of the entire House of Representatives and Senate, and the assassination of the President of the United States of America." And Reed says, "Sentimental posturing from the actual genius. How predictable, how pathetic. City, activate vivisection methodology." So he's going to leave him alive during this. Siri. She's such a... That's crazy, man. They're just always listening. I did not say her name. They're always listening.
It's unnerving, is what it is.
And sometimes, at least I said city there, and I was probably talking quickly, so at least it makes sense that she's listening, but sometimes I don't say anything even remotely similar, and then I'll hear her in my pocket, and I'm like, you son of a gun. You're just...
Yeah.
I don't like it.
For a while, we had an Alexa in our bedroom, and Alyssa lived next door. And guess what Alexa was hearing every day that thought it was its name?
Alyssa.
Yep.
That's absurd. That's not even close.
It was such a bad listener. We had to change its name.
Well, I had to. I just mute mine, so it's just a speaker now. But but I deafen it, so it can't hear anymore, or at least it says that. Who knows?
Sure. If you said something really seditious, I'm sure it would hear that.
I wonder if I could do that and then sue for like a privacy issue.
Quick, say you're gonna tell the listeners to pull all their money out of banks.
I thought you were about to say something worse than that. Okay. Sorry, one of my cats is being annoying now. He's biting my foot. Oh my gosh. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
Should we get back to it?
Let's do it.
The listeners don't care about this. So the Maker is like sentimental posturing because Tony's doing that thing where he's about to die and he's like, "Any last words?" And he's like, "Yes, you are under arrest." But the city doesn't respond when the Maker says vivisection methodology. That's also, I was going to say, it's interesting that he says vivisection because that would be a live dissection. That means he wants to leave Tony alive. That's the plan, while he's being dissected. It's messed up.
He's a real hater.
He's the ultimate hater. But the city does not respond. And then there's a big Iron Man. The Maker turns around. He's like, "City," and there's that humongous Iron Man suit, like that Tony had the little model of. He was showing off to the president, but it is much bigger. And the Iron Man suit says, "Hello, I'm Anthony. You're the bad man that killed everyone." And he grabs the maker, and the maker gets all like squiggly and stretchy, and it's pretty funny. And he's like, "You think you can use the city against me, city?" So this is the city just like re-engineered.
It's reassembling itself from like its old pieces, and it's created like this giant
That's
war
very
machine.
Cool. And the maker, if he has let his own hubris get in the way, because he really should have known that it's a bad idea to just let Sam like study the city and then go back and report it. Like, Tony Stark is a smart guy. He should be able, it's technology. He's pretty good at that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was set up to where it's like the premise of this whole story from the beginning has been you can't stop the city. It's like, holy shit, that sounds bad. So then what can we do? Well,
you got to turn the city against Reed Richards.
Yeah.
I love it. As long as it's not like like his tumor like came to life and is doing this.
Let's hope it's more thought out than that.
So the city as basically just a big Iron Man. He is like grabbing the maker, and the maker's stretching all about. It's really the first time we actually use Reed's powers. They're just so stupid looking. It's so goofy. I mean, they really haven't found a way. Are you about to say you like love it? I mean, I
think it's creepy.
It is. And it's goofy. And it's silly.
He's like a rubbery snake that's also like an evil super genius.
Yeah. And he's stretching all over, and Anthony says, "Hey, this is gross." And Reed screams, "City, mobilize defenses, spears and swords, and the robots. Deploy first knife." And Anthony says, "Well, I guess I can't really tell if this is Anthony speaking as the city or if this is actually the city. I think this is actually the city now." And he says, "I'm sorry, Maker. I'm afraid I can't do that. Attention, children of tomorrow. I'm establishing a CityCast quorum. An opportunity has presented itself. The Maker has exhibited..." Yeah.
Real quick, I got to do this because this is...
Please do it.
...referencing my favorite movie. He's like calling to him. He's like, "City, city." And then just imagine like a really cold, uncaring silence. "I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that."
Oh, is that Hal?
This is quoting 2001.
Wow,
which is
I've never
also,
even seen that movie.
The point of Hal is also like, you know, AI intelligence that we create, but we can't control because we don't, you know, it's like we invented a bonfire with no plan on how to put it out.
Yep. So what do you, so obviously I would think that means you really like that the city is like turning against the Maker.
Well, I mean, it was kind of inevitable. But I like the fact that they quoted 2001 when they did it.
And the city is talking to the children of tomorrow, and it's like, you know, the Maker is doing things that we should have evolved past. He created death, and he's concealing protocols, and he's looking for vengeance, which is, you know, no longer, you know, a thing that we should worry about when we're this evolved.
They say vengeance is non-essential, war is counter-evolutionary. So he's saying it's like irrational.
Yeah. The Maker is unfit to lead the children of tomorrow. We have advanced beyond his station. The Americans have proposed harmonious coexistence in exchange for custody of the Maker. Children of tomorrow, what is your position? And all the children of tomorrow just kind of do nothing. And the city says, "Very well, children of tomorrow, stand down. Do not interfere with the Americans." I think I would like this more if it was just Tony turning the city against the Maker than convincing like the city and the children to turn the Maker over. You know, like this. I think the Children of Tomorrow are still bad.
I mean,
and
I
this
don't
just
know.
doesn't
Like,
feel like winning.
yeah, I think we're coming at it from different expectations, though, because I'm like knowing that this is an event from 15 years ago, and the Maker is still like meant to be a big bad of the entire Marvel mythos today. I'm like, these Ultimates can't beat him too easily, right? It has to be like a stalemate because he can't lose face over and over again and still be like
that's true.
menacing.
So you're saying, I'm saying, you know, it doesn't really feel like a win, and you're saying like, yeah, and I guess it kind of can't, you know.
It shouldn't. If they just beat him easily in the final issue of this, you know, arc, it's kind of like Kang going down to, you know, Ant-Man and the Power of Friendship.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that took me out of the story because now this bad guy isn't as powerful as you said he is.
And so the Maker's trying to fight off the giant Iron Man, and he says, "How dare you? I am the Maker." And we see him, you know, he's like squiggling one of his arms, like blocks away to grab a gun, and then he squiggles it and fires it into the back of the Hulk. And he says, "This is my city. You are my children. I'll start over if I need to. I'm still in charge. I am invincible under the sun." And whatever he stabs the Hulk with, you know, it makes him grow to a huge size, and now we get a giant kaiju Iron Man versus the Hulk fight. You couldn't ask for a better panel, a cooler looking panel here than the Hulk fighting Iron Man with the Maker all like rubbered out around him. And I mean that sincerely. This is awesome.
Have you seen Smiling Friends?
No.
Okay. My sister showed me like an episode of it. There's a squiggly guy that kind of reminds me of this.
And the Maker, I like that the Maker, he didn't take the city turning on him. Like, he was just immediately like, I'm going to kill all of you guys. I don't know who you think you are, but you know, he did I brought you into this world and I'll take you out. And I like that. He should not for 1 second, if he is like a true supervillain, be like, no, my precious children, you've abandoned me. No.
No, because this was never about, you know, making the perfect society. It was about like, these are his like ants in his ant farm.
Yes. So the Hulk starts punching up on Iron Man. And Anthony's like, "Oh, stop it," you know. And it looks like he's going down. And Tony, still from his, you know, vivisection spot, he says, "I didn't plan for the Hulk. Are the city's defenses down yet?" And Anthony says, "I think yes." And Tony says, "Call Hurricane, Anthony, now." And then we see on the coast of England, are these the cliffs of Dover, maybe? I don't know that at all, but
they are. It says Dover.
Oh my god! Look at that! Wow, that I would have probably been able to figure that out. Maybe I barely saw that out of my peripherals or something.
You're just a geography whiz like that.
I mean, that is like the only cliffs that I know, and they're standing on a cliffside. Tony and Wasp are just kind of standing there waiting, and Thor he says to be ready, and then Thor gets a message and it says hurricane, and they immediately fly over. He says, "Are you ready? Let's get this over with." Back in the city, Reed is
Wasp is dead.
Okay, I'm sorry, who is this?
We don't know.
No, Wasp came back to life. Remember, we looked that up.
That hasn't happened. That hasn't happened yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, I remember who this is. This is truly a second read. So the read is very rubbery. It is interesting that he seems to not have control over his rubberiness. He wasn't getting bigger on purpose. He was like being forced into that by being squeezed, I'm guessing. And now he's like in a big accordion that can't wind himself back up, or like a humongous tape measurer that's all twisted and tangled would be a better way to describe it.
He looks like a 200-foot long snake. Like he's just a series of ropes dragging themselves.
Yes. And he says, "How are you doing this? I've been thinking for 1,000 years." And Tony says, "I've got a secret weapon. You were just too blind to see it." He says, "When I said I was buddies with my brain tumor, it wasn't a joke." And Reed says, "Impossible." And Tony throws his head up in the air and says, "Impossible, Richards, or merely fantastic?" And then it cuts back to Tony explaining to the president. And he says, I've had tumors before, Mr. President. We've removed them and they always returned. I decided to talk to this one, and it talked back. And the president says, is it conscious? A parallel... Oh, I'm sorry. Tony says, he is conscious, a parallel processor who can interface with technology. And he says, and the city is the tumor. We can't just remove it without killing Europe. So why not talk to it and negotiate directly to the city for the surrender of Reed Richards? So this was the plan. Tony's tumor did come to life. I just think that's so dumb. It's fine though. I mean, it's just like one part, and you could easily like whatever. It would be the exact same story if they said, oh, actually, Tony was able to hide some piece of technology because of his tumor, right? It's like one line difference, but it's the same exact story, so it's fine.
But it is laughably dumb.
Yeah.
This is one of those comics that you remember, and years later you're like, hey, remember when Tony had a tumor that was just a kid he could talk to?
It was a little boy.
And it could talk to computers right when they needed it the most.
Yeah. And that was the plan. They were going to negotiate with the city. And I don't really like that that's the plan either, because there's no reason that they should have thought that the city is an AI creature that they can turn against Reed Richards. I mean, there's nothing that would give them that. So once again, it would be better with like a one-line difference that like Tony's piece of technology was able to take over the city like a virus. I mean, and now that I'm thinking about it, Reed has like used a computer virus before to like take out things and blow up things. Isn't that how he like blew up the other dimension, the squadron shit? So they probably could have made this a little bit cleaner, at least to me. But, you know, I'm sure they were going with something about technology being turned against the creator of it. And, you know, oh well.
This also very much feels like a rushed conclusion that maybe wasn't necessarily the plan. And it makes me wonder why writing credits are given to Jonathan Hickman and Sam Humphries. Like, did Hickman hand over one page worth of notes and then Humphries had to like make a whole issue out of that?
Well,
who's actually writing the dialogue?
It did seem to insinuate that like Humphries did the majority of writing. I don't remember how it said it, but it was like maybe Jonathan Hickman was like in parentheses or something.
It says Sam Humphries with Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah, so that would make me think the story is mostly Sam Humphries.
But on the cover it says Hickman first before Humphries, probably because it'll sell better.
Yeah.
I think Hickman left the book early, and they're just saying, this is us finishing up his story.
So back with the Maker in the city, we see it's Sue Storm that is there with the Hulk. And, you know, she kind of she takes her helmet off, she force fields it through the Hulk's eye. Ouch, that would hurt. And at least briefly incapacitates the Hulk. And then Thor jumps down and says, for Asgard, for the All-Father. And he jumps down and attack. And Sue flies up to Reed. And she's kind of floating above him. And he's so pathetic and rubbery looking. He still can't pull himself together. He should probably have better control over his powers. I wonder if this is because he hasn't had to use his powers in like 1,000 years.
That's what I think. I think he's just been sharpening his mind and his actual powers have atrophied.
Yeah. And Reed says, Sue, stop. He's like, oh God, he sees it's Sue. And he says, stop this. I still love you. What a... Jeez, it's been like 1,000 years, man. And Sue says, Reed, please, I'm not the girl I used to be. I'm fucking Ben Grimm now. That would really get him, wouldn't it?
Hey, you remember Ben? Yeah, I got his rocks off.
The rock guy, he's actually a jacked superhero, purple guy now. I got his rocks off. That's funny. I'm sorry I glossed over that. She says, I wasted a lot of time feeling guilty. Guilty for what happened between us. Guilty for all the things you did after. I'm over it, Reed. Maybe I can't be killed. Maybe you can't be killed, but I finally figured out the next best thing. And she force fields him up into like a ball. I'd say that's just a little bigger than a basketball. And she says, you always said I was a little bit smarter than you. That is a horrifying punishment. I thought about that after I read it, and I was thinking, for as awful as he is, that is just a terrifying eternity to just be confined in a little... I mean, can you even imagine?
I mean, I went through that for 9 months. I don't want to brag, but I got through it fine.
No, you didn't. He's like in a little
womb.
He's been folded up into a little. He's the size of a basketball.
Yeah, I know. I was making a joke.
I know. Oh, that was like a COVID joke.
No, we all spent 9 months in a womb, like rolled up, like inside of a basketball.
Oh, I didn't get that at all. I'm sorry.
That's all right. It wasn't.
I'm not appreciating your jokes in the last 3 minutes.
That's you know what? That's all right.
And Bruce Banner, the Hulk's on the ground, so he obviously got dealt with by Thor. And they say, what are we going to do with Banner? And the other person says he'll shrink down eventually. After that, no idea. And Tony says, Sue will escort Richards back to the States with the Marines. And the two of us will be celebrated taking down Americans Most Wanted. Paris, Rome, all of the above. Like, this is every place is Most Wanted. And Thor says, I must return to Asgard. I haven't since it was destroyed. And Thor's son never came into play here. I was thinking he would, because he burst out of the tree. And Anthony looks up at Tony and says, did I do okay? And Tony says, yeah, you did great, son. Aw, Tony wants a kid. In Alaska, we see a man in just some wandering outfit, and he goes into a little outpost and says, can I get everything on this list plus 3 gallons of diesel? And he sees a TV on in the corner. And the man looks up at the TV, and it's things that are happening in Washington. And it says, with disarray in the government and no firm stance on the situation from incoming President Howard, the area has descended into further violence. And the bartender says, whole country's gone to hell. Good thing we're up here and the pandemonium can't hurt us, right? And the news is just kind of talking about how crazy things are going in America. And the gas station person says, I'll pump the diesel for you. Shouldn't be more than a couple minutes. And the person says, cancel it. And he turns around, and I'm guessing Captain America. This is a very handsome man, blue eyes, that would pierce the night sky. And he says, I don't need it. I'm going home. That is Captain America, right?
Yes. He
And
finally
he missed the
showed
whole
up.
fight.
I know.
Give me a break, man.
The Maker, he's asleep.
I'm
The
not
Capitol
very
gets
happy
blown
with
up.
him here.
He shows up 2 weeks late.
Yeah, the whole situation's been dealt with. I mean, what is he even going to go home to do now?
Well, we're going to find out because we're reading the next arc as well, Divided We Fall.
Okay. Probably not as good as the last one, was it?
This issue?
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be a 6 for me.
I think it could. I still think with some small changes, I think this would have wrapped up very, very nicely. But instead, the things that I remember about it are like, one of the things I remembered most about it was like Tony's tumor. You know, I'm like reading that and I'm like, oh, that's what it was. Oh my gosh. You know? But with that being said, you know, flipping through these pages when the Hulk gets big and he fights the big Iron Man, that's very fun. So there are still, it still wraps up kind of nicely for me.
Yeah. And I think I can kind of get where they were like trying to go with the tumor thing, because it's like he says, it's like a parallel to the city, right? The city is a tumor. Well, what do you do with a tumor? All you can do is like negotiate with it.
But
Except
that didn't
that's
have
not
to be the parallel. They didn't come up with that parallel until this issue, you know?
Right. And for no one else in history has negotiating with your tumor been like a relatable response to it.
Yeah. That's a good point. Other people should have been like, Tony, that's not what you do with tumors, though.
You cut it out.
What can we rate this one out of? Let's say out of, if Reed is 1,000 meters long, what do we rate this out of?
Of course he uses metric system. Yeah, back when I thought we were using the 6-7 method, I said it was a 6. I'm gonna stay. It's a 6.
It's a 6 out of 10.
Well,
I'll say it's
just
a 7
6.
out of 10. It's a 700 out of 1,000 meters.
Does it live
Richards.
up to the story that for 11 issues we were building? No. Is it?
But dude, it's so close. It's so close to, because
yes.
If you tell me Tony makes a secret plan and goes and infiltrates it and then takes over the city and he turns into a big Iron Man and he has the big Iron Man do a fight and then Thor comes in and they like, that's an awesome story, you know?
Sure.
So it's very close to being like really good, I think.
It quoted 2001, and it quoted a line that we have talked about at length in this podcast about Sue is just a little bit smarter than Tony, or than Reed.
Yeah.
But man, I will say I liked it better rereading it for the pod than I did reading it like when this was coming out. Because I thought this was so stupid. I thought this was such a letdown. I was like mad about this.
I could see how reading this 1 month at a time or something, and then you get to this and it's like Tony's little kid is a living tumor that like when it like it's pretty stupid, you know. Yeah, I can see how that would be a letdown.
But like as a 30-year-old man, I'm like, you know, comics don't always have to make sense. They don't always have to be serious. Sometimes the stupid ones are the ones that you laugh with your friends about the most, you know?
Yeah.
And overall, it was the only solution. They had to use the city against the Maker. I also like the fact that,
yeah.
I also kind of like the fact that the Maker lost on some bullshit. And he is going to be the funniest character to keep bringing that up.
Well, you're. What is that? Is he going to keep talking about that?
I hope he does. I hope every time he's like,
really funny.
"You only beat me because fucking laws
Your
of
stupid
science
brain tumor
stopped existing for one
is
issue."
funny. And the Maker had that good line where he used Tony's words against him, which we appreciate.
Yeah. He had to be taken down with hubris and some comic book fuckery, and by God, he did.
He is still a really good villain. For everything we always say about all of these issues, the Maker is always a good villain, and he's always like being villainous, and he's got things to say that are cool and evil, you know.
As we sit here and record this in November of 2025, we're like coming up on very close to a story where the Maker might finally lose in such a way that he stops being cool. So I just want to like say this as like a time capsule. As of right now, both in the real world and in the story we just read, the Maker is still like an intimidating, worthwhile villain that you bring out for special occasions, right?
Yeah.
He's the fine china in the dishware of the Marvel universe.
That's really cool that like and it's not like he's been around forever. He hasn't like been around since the beginning of comics. Like we read his beginning before he was even a bad guy, and he was just like a member of the Fantastic Four. And now you're right, you know what? It's probably been 20 or 25 years since that introduction. And now he's this cool villain that, like you said, they bring out for special occasions.
Yes. I say that though because as of the end of the new Ultimate Universe, which is coming in I think March, or April or something, he might lose like a bitch and just never be serious again. I don't know. It has to happen eventually if they keep using him.
Yeah. So what are we doing next?
We are going to continue with the Ultimates. So we're going to do issue 13 and 14.
Okay. Nice.
And finally, Captain America is going to join the cast.
Good. We've been calling for him since like issue 4. When Nick Fury went and talked to him, and he's like, I can't do it, Nick. You know, you'll have to do this one without me. And then we're like, well, surely he's coming back next issue. He wouldn't just leave.
He did.
He went to Alaska.
It's because Aunt May slapped him and he feels guilty for Peter dying.
Yep. Okay, what else do we have?
I don't have anything else. I said a lot at the beginning.
Okay, I don't really have anything else. I have those, you know, we don't have to hear about the Mormon stuff. It's pretty silly. We can.
We'll save it for another day.
Okay.
Perhaps.
Yeah. If people want to hear about the Mormon funny things, they can write in, and then we'll do it.
Book of Mormon has been on Broadway for quite some time. There's many places you guys can go.
I'm not sure that they get it. I had never heard these things before.
Oh, really?
Should I just... Okay, so... Yeah, we'll get into it. Okay,
here we go.
Did you know in the Mormon church, they have, like, proxy baptisms and weddings for people who are not Mormon after they have died to, like, convert them to Mormonism, to, like, save them? And they just, like... find dead people... And then they do a baptism for them, and they're like, this person's Mormon now. And in the Mormon church, if you look up that person's name, they're Mormon. And they do that for weddings also, and they're like, yeah, these people are married Mormon. Yeah.
Dude, what a great way to, like, hedge your bet. If that's, like, a close second religion that you think might be real, like live your whole life observant of like a different thing and then be like, okay, now after I'm dead, the Mormons got me too.
Yeah. That's funny. I was telling my coworkers about this, and one of them was mentioning how like someone... Did you hear that?
No.
He just hissed at me.
Why would he do that?
I don't know. Get down. And she was like concerned that like her husband's dad was like never baptized, so you know, is he in heaven? You know, some people think about stuff like that. And she was joking, like, well, we'll just have to get the Mormons to baptize him, He'll be good to go. So anyway, I think that's pretty, it's funny, but I think it's pretty, like, reprehensible. Like, religion's, like, one of the few things that some people really care about. And to just, like, baptize someone into another religion after they pass away, it seems just terrible. And they did get sued by, like, because people found out they were doing that to, like, Holocaust victims, people who died in the Holocaust. And they got sued, and now they're not allowed to. Now they have to have a living person's family member okay it. And the person I was talking to, I was like, oh, so now they just only look for people who don't have living family members. And they're like, yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, there's some like guerrilla spiritual.
Oh, they don't care at all. Yeah.
Mormons who are out there.
Well, like, yeah, because that woman I was dating used to be in the Mormon church. And she said she's been baptized like hundreds of times. And she's been in proxy weddings like hundreds of times.
So that one also is crazy. What is a proxy wedding? Is that
she said there's like a man and a woman, and they go in and they like hold hands and they like do the whatever, and then the next people come in and they do the whatever, and they're like, do you, Ethel Margaret, whoever the woman was that died 100 years ago, do you take this person? They like pretend that they're that person.
That is creepy. That's weird.
And the baptism, they like stand in water and they like get dunked.
But it's not like one guy is like, oh yeah, I want to marry the spirit of Audrey Hepburn.
No, I don't think. No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I'll probably ask about it more. I was just learning about this the other night, and I thought it was pretty funny. And she's not in the Mormon church anymore. Now she sees it as a cult and everything. But I was like, so was it like a cult back? Like, were you like, this is crazy, or were you like, I'm saving people's souls? And she's like, I thought I was saving people's souls. Like,
Exactly, which is
that's
why
the purpose of the church.
They're not stopping, dude. They are not asking for permission to save souls.
Well, no, wait. They got sued well before this. They've just been finding people who no longer have living relatives. Exactly. There's no shortage of people who have passed away in the world, It's probably not that hard to find names of people who don't have living relatives anymore. Dude, I bet it's a full-time job that they're always finding people,
So then why the hell do they even bother knocking on my door? Just wait till I'm dead.
That's funny.
It'd be so much easier to get the dead ones than the live ones.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. So that's my Mormon stuff.
Right on.
That's all I have. Do you have anything else?
Dude, we're going to watch our listener count plummet after this.
Yep.
I have, I could do a jam of the week.
Yes. Oh my gosh. We haven't done one in so long.
We haven't done an episode in so long. So my jam of the week is actually just going to be a whole new genre that I've recently discovered and been getting into. And it's called Sound Clash. And it's like, I was like looking for, I was like, I know this is a thing because I've seen it at like street festivals and like Jamaican food trucks and stuff. It's just where they have like the loud speaker playing music, and then the guy will have his mic and he'll be like, ha ha ha, and he's just yelling things. And maybe he's like, marketing his restaurant. You're like, hey, half off chicken curry right now, blah, blah, blah. He's just yelling things.
Yeah.
And I literally looked up what is the genre of Jamaican party music where they just play a really loud speaker and yell things.
And that is like, a genre.
It is. Yeah. Sound Clash. The origins of it are they used to have parties in the streets and a DJ on one side of the road would try and play his music louder than the DJ on the other side of the road. So they'd just be increasingly turning the volume up.
That is awesome.
And playing more obnoxious music. And it
that became a thing.
It turned into like a cool, like, collaborative music experience where they would like try and make their music synchronize, or like they'd like make a remix like based off of what the other guy was doing. And then they like would get their mics and they'd do like diss tracks to the other one, you know? They'd be like,
"That's awesome.
Your mother smells," or something. Like, and this was like, you would think that, oh yeah, this probably came up around the same time as like hip hop in America. Dude, they've been doing this since like the early 50s. Like, this is the coolest music style, and they've been doing it forever.
Wow. That's a good jam of the week.
And the guy
Clash.
The guy right now, I'll give you an example of one to listen to. He's like the king of it at the moment, and it's very funny because he's a bald, white, British man. And he still talks with the full Jamaican accent.
Definitely not the mental image I had of the people who were doing this.
His name is David Rodigan. If you look up like ID2 by David Rodigan.
Yeah, I got him.
It's literally just him in a club.
This
and
guy looks like Did you ever hear of the book The Game? It was like the pickup artist book from back in the day, and it was like a TV show on VH1 or MTV or something also.
No.
Oh my gosh. Well, have you ever heard of like pickup artistry and like how people dress, like peacocking? That's the first thing I thought of when I typed when I look at the pictures of this guy on Google. That's how they all dressed.
This album of his is so funny because it's like just the recording of a night at a club. You know, they just recorded everything that came into the PA that night. And so like some tracks will be not music. It'll just be random stuff. And he'll be like, "We are here to honor 40 years of music from Fat Man." And it's like, Fat Man, I don't know that you're supposed to call him that, but like, I don't know, dude. This is your subculture, not mine. Is this guy's like actual stage
That's
name?
So funny. He's from Hanover, Germany.
Oh, I thought he was British.
Well, it does say British DJ and radio performer, but he's born in Hanover, Germany. His origin is England, so he must have like moved or, you know, at a young age.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny. I'm definitely going to check this guy out. I'm going to leave this tab open so I don't forget about it.
This whole genre is so sick. You can like, it's harder to find individual tracks of it. You just like type in Sound Clash on YouTube and you'll get like a 3-hour video filmed in a club of two guys doing it. And it's just fucking hilarious and also like kind of hyped.
That is, how'd you find this? How'd you like get into it?
Dude, I was super fucking high and I was just on a walk and I was like, what's that Jamaican music where they're yelling? Because, you know, I'm used to yelling music.
Yeah. And I know I had a trivia question a couple weeks ago that was like, where did ska originate from? Or maybe it wasn't ska, it was maybe something else. And I whipped my phone out, which you're not supposed to do, not to look it up, but I told my team, I was like, I've got a buddy I'm going to text and he is going to know this. And I texted Zach, and 10 seconds later, he responded Jamaica, and of course, it was the right answer.
Yeah, Jamaican music has a very distinct. It's that. It's like every.
Are those steel drums?
What like every half. No, it's like. I had a music teacher explain it to me once. It's like every half note is higher, or something. But it's a very. Yeah, they do steel drums. That is an instrument they use a lot.
Yeah. Well, I love that jam of the week. You got anything else?
Sure. What the hell? Just to show I'm changing so much as a person. I feel like yeah,
you're a vegetarian also.
I went vegetarian and then everything else snowballed for me. I'm just turning into a hippie now.
Wow, this really is going to become a leftist better help book podcast or whatever.
Hey, I'm not against it. Do you know who Donna Summer is?
Nope.
The queen of disco. Well, I've been getting into Donna Summer, so I like I Feel Love. It's like 8 minutes long and it just rocks.
Okay. Nice. I thought that was going to be not another song. I thought it was going to be some way of like self-improvement or something.
No, just another
After
jam
like
week.
the preamble of that, you know.
No,
Like
this
I thought
just
it was going to be something like you went vegetarian or you know, you see what I'm saying?
No, dude, I'm just like changing everything, like even
your
down to my music taste.
Yeah. Okay, I like it. There you
I'm
go.
chilling
it's good
out
to
more.
expand horizons.
Yes.
I was saying, you know, I like pretty much any type of music except for EDM is not my favorite because I can't sing along to EDM, but pretty much anything that I can sing the lyrics to, I can jam to.
Yeah. I'm thinking of like the 2 Skrillex songs I know, and I can definitely sing those, but it would sound so stupid.
And I like country. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, I hate country. And I mean, country's just as good as anything else, you know?
I used to be one of those country haters, but I realized I just hate like pop country and like we love the flag country, you know?
Yeah.
I like outlaw country and like the
Well,
old
that's
shit.
just another thing that the right has co-opted. You can't even be patriotic anymore without.
That's right.
I'm taking that back.
Do you know Johnny Paychecks?
No.
He was a short little country singer. He was like the mascot for the Hells Angels. That dude rocked.
Nice. Good for him. Okay, we got anything else? We'll go out on him. Johnny Paychecks. Maybe that will be next week's intro.
Your nickname?
Yeah.
I don't have anything else.
I don't think I do either. Thank you, webheads, for listening and leaving a review or a comment. You can find us, the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast, on Spotify or Apple Music or anywhere else you find podcasts. And you can come and chat with us and leave us a comment on Instagram at First Read Podcast. Send us an email at firstreadspidey@gmail.com or find us on YouTube, the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast. See you next week.
See ya.